Hi, my name is Amy Weigand, and I was diagnosed in January of 2019 at the age of 41. I had one lump that was invasive ductal carcinoma, and then I had some calcium deposits nearby that were ductal carcinoma in situ. So I was diagnosed in January. I had a single mastectomy in February. During that time, they test your lymph nodes, and they found one was positive. So even though surgery was supposed to take care of everything, that meant that I then had to do chemo and radiation. So I think it was 18 weeks of chemo, 6.5 weeks of radiation. Then a few months later, this little thing called COVID came along, and delayed my reconstruction surgery, but I finally got that in June of 2020. I got an implant. Over the next year, I developed a capsular contracture, which means the scar tissue was kind of enveloping the implant and squeezing it. My skin was also really thin because of radiation, so they feared that I would burst open. So we decided to go with deep flap surgery, which is where they take a portion of your stomach and recreate a natural breast out of it by connecting blood vessels, fat, and skin. I was referred to a guy in Boston, Dr. Carty, who walks on water, and he was worth the wait. I had to wait over a year to see him and to get that surgery. But it's been life-changing. It's warm and soft, and I have much more mobility. But that was a total of 4 surgeries in 4 years. So I currently have no evidence of disease, and I have, I think, a month and a half left of tamoxifen, which is super exciting. I'm 5.5 months, or 5.5 years out. Yeah. I would like to thank my doctors, William Sykov, Ashley Stuckey, and Eric Hoy, and then there is Matthew Carty up in Boston. I'd also really like to thank my physical therapist, Heather Waddell, who is a miracle worker. The best part about Gloria Gemma is all the wraparound services. They do things for you that your doctors don't. So providing meals for my family when I didn't want to cook. Embracing things like a trip or 2 or 3 to Sedona, becoming part of a dragon boat racing team, getting to do a fancy photo shoot, just really all the things that you didn't think you needed and things that just make you feel special. I just really want to thank my husband, Brian, who just does it all. I feel like a breast cancer diagnosis puts you in a club that you never want to be a part of, but for me, it's been the friends, making new relationships, embracing opportunities that you wouldn't have had otherwise, so it's that silver lining. I think if you're considering She Rose, it is a program that you get what you put into it. So if you embrace the opportunity and you kind of go with the flow, I think there's a lot to uncover about yourself and just beautiful friendships that are created from it. My name is Amy Weigand, and this is my story.
Hi everybody, I'm sitting here with Amy Weigand from the Gloria Gemma She Rose class of 2024, and you were just explaining to me that today's makeover photo shoot was a little bit out of your comfort zone, and why was that?
In my day-to-day life, I am a jeans and t-shirt Target kind of gal. I never wear makeup, and I rarely do my hair. So it was fun to kind of do the opposite of that.
Yeah, now, can't you see yourself walking through Target in one of these gowns? Just like showing up?
I don't know. I think the photographer made me feel like I could walk anywhere in this gown.
Right?
She really made me feel good.
Yes. Well, you look amazing, and I'm so glad you got to experience this. How did you come upon the She Rose program?
So I was diagnosed about 5.5 years ago. I almost immediately called Gloria Gemma through friends that had some familiarity with the program. And I've seen it come up in my feed, and I wasn't sure if it was right for me or if I had the time to do it. But with Maria's encouragement, I applied.
I'm so glad you did. And I know you personally helped me out because are you an art
So I'm a high school art teacher.
So SCART, you participated in SCART a couple months ago, which is part of the She Rose program, and I really appreciate your assistance. And so how was doing SCART as somebody who knows art?
I think it was funny. I enjoyed it. I think like paint nights and things like that in general like are kind of like funny to me because it's so like formulaic. So I went into it with low expectations, but then the personalization of like painting our scars, really brought more individuality to it. And then it's funny because like it was kind of embarrassing to have everybody like going behind me being like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
It's hard to set the bar high
exactly
in a class like that because the majority of the people have no painting experience. And then they see your painting and think, is mine supposed to look like that?
Right. And as a person who doesn't like a lot of attention, like that was hard for me too, to be like, yeah, just keep walking.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Humble. You don't want to be like, oh yeah, that little thing.
Right.
This little piece of art.
Exactly. But it was fun.
Yeah, but I think we all learn from each other, and I'm not an artist at all. I am more of a programmatic person of creating these programs. So it's nerve-wracking for me to have to get up and teach an art class and not know how to paint. Yeah. I mean, it's sort of funny that I'm in that position because I really feel like what I'm there teaching people to do is just, I guess I represent the rest of the class.
Yeah.
The ones who really is just like, it's there for the process of just getting your feelings out and just seeing where the brush strokes take you. And I know I've improved over time with what I do, but I love SCART. And has there been any other part of this program that has been helpful to you in just growth?
Yeah, I think the friendships is probably the thing that stands out the most to me. Breaking up into our smaller groups and really getting vulnerable with each other. I think it creates, it's almost like summer camp, like you come away from a week of summer camp with your best friends for life. You're kind of stripped of all the other stuff. And so I have friends now that will last for years.
Yeah, you know what I love about story crafting is that I think in life, the conversations that you have with people are all, how you doing? But you really sort of get the surface level, right? So with story crafting, it's so intimate.
Yeah.
And you learn, for instance, one of my team members who I worked with for years sat down and did story crafting, and in 8 years I didn't know the details of her life until she sat down and went through that process. So sometimes you really don't get that opportunity to really get to know what's going on in somebody's life. So I'm glad you got to process that. Well, you have a story that's written called Riding the Rapids. Did you have any trouble picking that as a theme? I mean, how did you go about that, making yours?
So I think for me, like in the entire process, I kind of had these two sides of where I was going. The one side was if I was going to embrace the process and really dig into things that are traumatic for me or things that would help, if I really addressed, would heal, were not necessarily things that I wanted published in a book. And then there was the whole breast cancer thing, which for me was actually not the most difficult thing in the world. So it felt kind of like a cop-out to go with that. But at the same time, I actually went on a girls' weekend we had this annual last weekend of June with my camp counselor friends that I was a camp counselor with, girls' weekend every June. And I was talking about, because I think the deadline for our stories was like 3 days after. So I was talking to them about it and really just floating in the pool all day, talking about all these different things that my metaphor kind of came out of that, and talking with them, and that really that my story is not just about me, it's about all the people that rose to the occasion.
Okay, so you came up with this amazing metaphor, floating in a pool with your girlfriends, and that pool I'm imagining was very calm waters.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
This one's more about
some
rapids that had happened in your life. So without further ado, we're going to hear your story called Riding the Rapids.
All right. Life has a way of throwing us into the deep end when we least expect it. My breast cancer journey was just that, like being tossed into a raging river without a paddle. But luckily, my friends and family became my trusty raft, keeping me afloat and steering me through the wildest rapids. The day I got my diagnosis felt like an unexpected belly flop into cold water. Suddenly, I was drowning in a sea of medical jargon and frightening possibilities. Cancer was a word that hit me like a tidal wave, sending my mind into a whirlpool of fears about treatments and an uncertain future. I quickly realized that I needed a support system, my raft, if I was going to navigate these rough waters. My family and friends quickly rallied around me, forming the raft that would carry me through. Each person was a crucial piece of this makeshift vessel. My husband was the central beam, offering unwavering support and many life-saving snacks. He was my rock, my anchor, holding my hand through every doctor's appointment. His stream of never-ending dad jokes and reassuring hugs kept me grounded. Then there were my girls, this raft's small but mighty planks. Their innocent questions and hilarious observations about my bald head were like little ropes holding everything together. They reminded me why I had to keep paddling. Who else is going to referee their epic Barbie battles or craft their favorite mac and cheese? Friends near and far formed the outer frame of my raft, cushioning me from the harsh impacts and helping me stay afloat. They were the ones who brought over food, seriously, so much food, when we couldn't face the kitchen. They sat with me watching shows in the days following chemo, making me laugh with stories of their kids and workplace drama. Their texts, memes, and surprise care packages were like the durable material that made my raft resilient, ready to face whatever the river threw our way. My treatment journey of surgery, chemo, radiation, and 3 more surgeries has been a mix of calm waters and wild rapids. There have been many long stretches where everything feels to be even more than manageable. Dare I say delightful? I had time off from work. I was able to read and watch all those shows I never had the time to get to. During these times, my raft allowed me to relax, knowing that I was surrounded by love and support. And occasionally, there were some rapids. The turbulent waters represented the tough days, hair loss, fatigue, body aches, and some seriously crispy radiation skin. Each rapid felt like it was an attempt to capsize my raft and drag me under. But my raft held strong. My friends and family paddled alongside me, their collective strength and ridiculous dance moves propelling us forward. Their encouragement was like paddles helping us navigate the rough patches, making sure we stayed on course. This journey also taught me the importance of trust and vulnerability. Just as a rafter must trust their raft to keep them afloat, I had to trust my friends and family to support me. This meant allowing myself to be vulnerable and express my fears and anxieties. It meant accepting help when I needed it and leaning on others when my strength waned. In doing so, I discovered the depth of my loved ones' commitment and their unwavering determination to see me through to calmer waters. As the river began to calm and the end of my treatment approached, I look back on the journey with a profound sense of gratitude. My raft, composed of the love, strength, and support of my friends and family, carried me through the most challenging experience of my life. Over 5 years later, the river is still flowing and unpredictable, with potential rapids ahead, but I know that my raft is strong enough to face whatever may come next. Breast cancer was a formidable challenge, but it also revealed the incredible resilience of the human spirit and the power of love and support. My friends and family, my raft, not only helped me navigate the turbulent waters, but also transformed the journey into one of growth, strength, and deepened connections. Together we conquered the rapids, emerging stronger and more united on the other side.
I have some really good friends in my life too, and I hope that if they hear this, I mean, you must have mentioned them. We only had 850 words,
yes.
Right? If you had more words, I can guarantee you that they would have been mentioned more. I mean, you can feel the love and camaraderie that you have with these amazing individuals in your family and friend circle. Do you want to give them a little shout out right now to this podcast? Because I feel like I know them.
Oh, thanks. There's my husband and my daughters, my parents, my in-laws, my brothers and their wives. Then there's all my work colleagues, my teacher friends. There's my camp counselor friends who I grew up with and are some of the closest people in my life. And then there's friends that are in different parts of the country that I went to high school with, and we all moved away from each other, but it was still getting care packages from. I don't know. There's so many.
Girl, you are blessed.
I am.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. I feel blessed knowing you. So thank you for paying that forward to me.
Of course.
And to everybody who knows you, I thank you for being part of this program.
Thank you.